Okay, it's 6:51 actually. Everything worked out relatively nice. I figured I'd be recording about 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
We just got done with... Zoom in. Well, we finished 12 episodes and then watched the Christmas episode, which was...
2 hours.
It's the Christmas episode, but it was really August through December.
Yeah. That was intensely long. Sorry.
I'm trying to pull away because
you want to be not in the same shot as me.
No, I wanted to just get you in the shot to talk about it.
Okay. I don't know. I riffed better off you. It was good. It was long, and it covered a lot of stuff.
I was losing track on whether or not, on how many days or weeks were going by in between sets.
Yeah.
The only thing we really knew was like, their birthday happened August 8th. Story. Thanksgiving! Oh, we're all the way up there. Okay.
Christmas!
Like,
New Year's!
that's literally a week apart, but...
Yeah.
Like...
It's very difficult to keep track of how much time is going by because you can't really tell when something's just a perspective change and when it's a whole continuity break, because it's all continuity breaks.
Yeah.
Having the dates in the corner might help, or having a better, just a fade to black, fade out, instead of a jump cut. But,
I think if we were to watch it again with this full knowledge, we would know about where they were kicking off at.
yeah.
But
yeah, it was really good. It takes a whole hell of a lot to make me cry. I almost cried several times during it.
I didn't turn him around, but I figured during the Hallelujah song was the premier one.
That song just gets me. And
I understand how it can get people, but it doesn't get me.
yeah.
But what this whole thing did, and you can expand. We're going with spoilers here.
Yeah, spoilers.
So I'm gonna provide structure stuff, and you can. So what it did was it tied up not just climactic loose ends, but it because we basically ended the last episode of them sailing off on the boat.
Yeah.
So we needed to know what happened to Will and Riley.
Yeah.
But everyone else seemed kind of, and that was the big crux. Everyone was resting at that point.
Yeah.
But it's sort of like, what happened to the Van Dam? That makes sense.
It blew up pretty bad.
Well, it got shot at pretty bad, and they spent a long time repairing it.
And although I had doubts and still kind of have doubts about the new Capheus, and I get that it had to be done for whatever reason, but they did a good job of an in-universe explanation with, you've been looking a little different lately, man.
And they talked about the Gobama bus and should we make it look like the new Van Dam? No, the new Van Dam. We don't want an old gray-haired guy on the side of our bus, yada yada.
Yeah, you know, they're using Hope Obama, not now Obama.
Yeah, and but
yeah.
But it was like, what happened, with the Van Dam and all that stuff? Because the last we saw, really, of Capheus and his storyline was he saved the Overlord.
Yeah.
He saved the drug lord and his daughter. And now we kind of see that hopefully Capheus is not indebted to the Overlord anymore, but he has a nice new bus.
Yeah.
And then it's sort of like, soon she was getting all screwed over by her brother in prison.
And now she's still getting screwed over by her brother in prison.
But she was continuously in solitary.
And
because she kept kicking the shit out of people. Or punching government property, meaning the wall.
Yeah. And it's just, I totally get her not caring about not being in solitary or being in solitary, but it's, I don't know, she seems to really appreciate the efforts of her fellow cellmates.
Yeah. And then it's like, I didn't really realize that the whole Berlin crime syndicate, or is that what it is? Yeah, gangster crime syndicate was going to be thrown into...
Yeah. I didn't really see that coming, but it makes sense.
By the way, that was actually, I'm not sure if they meant it, but that map was actually a shout out to how Germany was divided.
It was almost certainly intentional,
Yes.
and it probably is how it really is divided.
Yes.
Like the names have been changed, but
Well,
But-
they were just talking about Berlin in that one, and it might be there, but
any leftover criminal empire, if there is one, never into Germany, is probably still split up the same way because politics.
yeah.
Politics.
And just like here, I mean, like I've overlaid Germany over the States. Medford is not the same as Portland, is not the same as Seattle. You're not going to have Dusseldorf be the same as Kempten. You're not going to have them be the same as Berlin. Kempten is the Bavaria area. When I find guys with the Augsburg Raptors or something, they usually live in Kempten. I think it's the state they live in or something. But
So yeah,
and then it's like what happened with Nomi and what, how was she being on the run from government agents, and the thing is we had to deal with the fallout of Leto coming out.
yeah, and that was kind of tough.
Because it's, even now we forget that it does exist elsewhere in the world, that there's still,
Yeah,
that's why they kicked him out. He violated
the morality clause.
he violated the morality clause of his swanky as hell condo. Like, here in America, it doesn't matter. If you're paying that much, nobody gives a crap. I mean, the homeowners association might, but
Yeah,
typically when you're that rich and you're living in a place like that, you kind of mind your own business. Typically, there are, but
yeah. Instantly, I'm picking up my teeth because I had a popcorn snack.
yeah. So,
Will is probably addicted to heroin and various other drugs, so that Whispers can't find him, which sucks.
also, apparently Whispers has to take drugs so nobody can find him.
Yeah, and that's probably going to be a plot point later.
I was just getting my eye out of the thing.
I know, but it looks really weird when you.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Matrix, 3 hours? Yeah, we have a long time. I don't know what you want me to say.
Anything more about? Any final thoughts?
Final thoughts? It's amazing. Watch it, all of it. It has really fun scenes, really sad scenes, really heartwarming scenes. It's overall very, very endearing, very heartwarming.
Very bloody scenes.
Well, yes.
Very sexy scenes.
Well, yes. But overall, it's definitely, it ends on a high note, and it has high notes all the way through.
It ends on a high note of Wolfgang saying, Happy New Year. Happy fucking New Year.
So, there's the concept in storytelling of constant escalation to keep the mood going, and they did a good job of not doing that. There's times when the music and every cue says something big's gonna happen and it's gonna be bad, and then it wasn't.
True.
So, in case you have any kind of anxiety about bad things happening to your favorite characters, yes, bad things happen, but they're not as bad as the music makes them feel.
True. Well, we're going to go to dinner as soon as I get this edited, which is like trim the end.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to upload it, and I will probably put in all the words when we're at the restaurant. So we're going to Bannigan's. Whatever.
Right.
Yeah. Catch you guys Monday for Christmas stuff.
Bye.